Hey guys, Austin here. Hope you guys are doing well. If you've checked in with my video yesterday we had a discussion about what is your initial response when someone has an opinion that you don't agree with? And it was a really fascinating video. I had a fascinating post yesterday with a lot of discussion. I invite you to go check that out. And then I told you that there was one other thing that happened yesterday that was really interesting, and it connects with honesty and integrity and lying and people that you trust lying to you ignorantly. So let me get into this and come with me for a minute as I share this, what happened yesterday. And it's really fascinating. So there's a couple things that we can learn from it. So first off, my wife gets a text yesterday morning, and we have a family friend who's been struggling with cancer for the last few years. And they were preparing on coming home. And so we were getting ready to do a welcoming thing for this family friend that would be coming home shortly. And my wife gets a text yesterday morning from someone in the community who is very involved in the community, who does a great job with taking care of people and being there for people and understanding what's going on. And so we get a text from this person yesterday morning letting us know that our family friend has passed away, during the night. And so there won't be any welcoming her back because she had passed away. And so my wife was feeling the emotion from that, and our family felt the emotion, and we prayed for the family of our family friend who had passed away, and we prayed for all those that were involved and felt the emotion, right? And there were the tears and the grief and the loss that we felt. Fast forward a couple hours. So a couple hours later, I get a text from my wife that says, here's an actual text from someone else that's closer to the family, and said, actually, she did not pass away during the night. She's actually still alive, and she is still coming home. And so we are still looking to do some kind of welcoming thing for her. How could that be? How is it that misinformation could be passed? I mean, that's a big deal to pass along information that says this person has died, and yet they didn't. So think about that for a second. How could that possibly happen? And then also look at the emotion. So the emotion that was felt by my wife and my family, we were feeling that emotion for an event that actually did not occur. So what causes our emotions? Think about that. Is it the events that happen, or is it our thoughts about the events that causes our emotion? Because our family friend had not died. Our family friend was still alive. But we got this misinformation that influenced thoughts, which influenced emotion, and it was all based on a false scenario, something that was not true. And so, it's interesting because it was passed around to a lot of people in the community. So a ton of people in the community found out about this idea that this family friend had died during the night, and tons of emotion was expressed and felt by the whole community that morning, only to find out shortly thereafter that it was all false. She actually didn't die. So the person that shared this information obviously was well-intentioned, didn't mean to spread misinformation, but maybe just didn't check the source that the information came from, because the source was inaccurate. That person did not die. The family friend did not die. So the source that the information came from, so whatever rumors and stuff happened, spread this news that then went to the whole community, and the whole community then was feeling this, and then that's when people reached out to the family, and were talking to the family of this friend who had passed away. And while they were talking about this family friend as if, with future events and things that were happening, while the people that went to go talk with the family were talking about this person in the past tense, like, oh, it was, we were happy to have her a part of our life, and things like that. And then they realize, wait a second, there's something going on here. How come you're talking about her like she's present and there's a future, and we heard that she was dead? And they're like, no, she's alive. And then we got that information passed back out, like, wait a second, no. So that came from the source of someone who's with the person. But just interesting with the emotions, but then also that whole idea of truth being passed and misinformation that happens. So if this information could be spread in the way it was, is it possible that we might at times get misinformation through news media sources and from elected politicians and government leaders? Do you think at times that they might, have good intentions, but in some way be misinformed or be spreading information that's actually not true? And then the whole country may be living and experiencing emotion for an event that's all false. What are your thoughts on that? Could that be possible? Because, we just experienced this yesterday in our community, that was possible. With people who really care about each other and love one another and are well-intentioned, that still happened in our community. So could that happen at a government level and nationwide, where misinformation is being spread and the country is reacting and experiencing emotions for an event that is, in all reality, false? But we are acting as if it's real. Could that be possible? Could that be possible? Ask yourself, could that be possible? Okay. So if that's possible, that well-intentioned people who really care about you and don't mean to harm you can still do that, like happened yesterday in our community, is it also possible that there may be some people who are spreading misinformation on purpose, intentionally trying to deceive you? Does that ever happen? So how important is it for us to check our sources, to do our own research, and to pay attention to our internal voice in each given moment, right? It is very important, very important. Through this whole experience over the last month now, a little over a month, there's some words that keep coming into my mind, and it's based on Joseph Smith's history when he was talking about all the religious revivals and things that were happening during his time. He said there was war of words and tumult of opinions. In this war of words or tumult of opinions. And so that's something that I've been thinking about our world today, that there's definitely a war of words happening and there's a tumult of opinions. There's so many opinions. If you believe anything, you could believe that aliens are coming to this planet right now and are abducting people. You could go out and find people who actually believe that and to support your opinion, okay? So whatever your opinion is, you can find some type of source out there to support your opinion, okay? So there's definitely a tumult of opinions happening in the world. So the question is, and this is why it connected with yesterday, is what do you do? What is your initial response when someone has an opinion that you disagree with? Because who owns the truth? Right? Who owns the truth? Nobody. It's our job to seek it out. And in this war of worlds and tumult of opinions, how can we possibly find the truth? When even well-intentioned people who love you can be lying to you. And some people are out there with the intention to lie, are lying to you. And then there's lots of other people who don't even know how to think accurately, and they aren't thinking for themselves. They're just picking up, oh, I read this, and I saw this, and this was opinion that came to me, and now I'm just spewing out opinions that I haven't even done the research on. And so misinformation is being passed on. And then you've ever played the game telephone, where you pass one little sentence around a room of 20 people, and how weird that can come out on the other end. So the whole point of this is, let's go to the source. Let's check our data, our information, to make sure it's accurate. Let's be kind to one another, recognizing that we're all in this together. And some people are, well-intentioned and just spreading information that they think is true, but they just haven't done their own research. And they've just trusted where the information was coming from without actually double checking it. So do your own research, check the facts, and as Joseph Smith said, what came to him is the verse in the New Testament, James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. So there's no better time than now to go to the source of all truth to find answers that you're seeking. How do you know what to believe during this time? How do you know if something is true? Okay, I invite you to go to the source of truth. Pray. Get down on your knees, humble yourself, and get into an attitude of prayer, of meditation. Tune in to yourself and be present and ask. Because our true selves, our highest selves, can understand what truth is. There's an energy to it. It feels good, right? And so that's one of the things in the Bible, in Galatians, it talks about the fruits of the Spirit. That's love, peace. And so anytime you feel any of those feelings, you can know that it's right and it's good. You feel that warm feeling inside that, okay, this is probably something that's good, something that I can focus on. So that's one way that you can look at it. But then always double check, and find ways to support your ideas and your beliefs, and do your research, okay? So I just wanted to share this idea that was, really fascinating, that this experience that came yesterday with us thinking that a family friend had died when in reality she had not died, and how that information was spread. And I was just able to look at the bigger picture and see, okay, what's really going on in the world, and what might this also mean for us in our lives. So I invite you to check in with yourself, listen to intuition, discernment, and follow that. My book, A Decimite's Lesson, The Importance of Obedience, the higher lesson of that book is learning to recognize our inner voice, to listen to that and obey that voice, because that will lead us to ultimate, fulfillment and joy. It may be difficult at times to follow that voice, because it's going to push us into things that will grow us. I mean, that's the whole point of this life, is to learn and grow. And so sometimes it can be very difficult, but the reward is so worth it. I can promise you that. The reward of listening to and following your inner voice is so worth it. Remember, you're a miracle. You have a purpose. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.